Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Williams. I'm the one that wrote the two books, Rise and Shine, Anxiety and Depression and Life Management Tools, and Rise and Shine, Parent Self-Help Guide for the Youngins. Two very strong books, very strong books. And it really involves a total mental health process of what it takes in life to deal with our negativity and stresses the very best way as human beings. It's all about mental health integrity and nothing else. That's what I wanted to write. Um, After I wrote the book, the first book, which took me 7 years and 4 months to get it right, into a fourth edition final cut, because everything that I had learned from the age of 46 and on, um, tremendous education, had to meld within me with further experiences. So I had a very 25 years of worst case anxiety, depression, OCD, deep depression. Tried to end my life twice, 4 times in psych wards. I was a complete mess and a disaster, and I couldn't get any more fragile as a human being, and now I can't get any stronger as a human being. So those bad experiences too, to find these tools and skills and putting them into fruition, and that completely changed everything around to the point that we can optimize ourselves if we desire to work on ourselves. And that's the number one problem that we're having this day and age with our mental health is that people don't like to work on ourselves. And often the problem is people don't know what to work on because there's so much convoluted stuff in mental health. Nobody knows what to believe. So what do you do about it? What we typically do is do what I did is I had the pains going on. I was, in denial for a number of years, and somebody told me I had anxiety going on. A doctor did because I had all these crazy blood pressure readings and stuff like that. And so I did finally follow up and go to the doctor, and they said I had anxiety. I go, no, I can't have anxiety. No, I was in denial. But anyway, that's what it was. Okay, and so I ended up through the doctors and medication into the psych wards and met all the professionals there, 4 times in psych wards, the outpatient care and all that stuff. And to be frank with you, I learned nothing about how to do it right naturally to get out of my pains. They never gave me an inkling of what to do about that I could do it naturally at all. It was pretty pathetic. I felt like one of those hamsters on a spinning wheel in those cages, running like mad and getting nowhere. It was pretty pathetic. But these books are extremely powerful, and it's I mean I am out and about a lot and on hiking trails or whatever wherever I go, and I do carry these book cards, and it's hard to see it here, but on when I if you ever go to my Twitter site, which is at RonnieLG123, you'll see this card along with the two books involved, um, which I mentioned on my sites. But I've gone through, yeah, 34,000 of these book cards. And during the COVID time, I did have cards, so there were a lot of contacts I made during that phase too. And you won't meet anybody like me. I never met anybody that was so gung ho about a total self help process for mental health. And this is what that is. It is extremely powerful. Um, Three things we need in our lives. Well, number one, we need spiritual growth. Okay. We need to have that connection with God. And that just happens to be the basis of our positivity when we get that right. And it's the basis of our negativity when we don't. It forms our foundation, which we need to stand on. We need to have that concrete foundation, or else we're going to collapse or stumble we can't do without that. Okay. Especially for matters outside of our control, because when things outside of our control happen, which are gnarly or sicknesses or whatever, that's beyond our actions or our thought, we have to have something bigger than us. We have to reach up and grab that hand because nothing else is gonna help us. So collectively, it's a huge part of our well-being. And ironically, the mental health professionals I ever met, and what I heard that they can't bring up the questions about how's your faith and how's your foundation, which is absolutely ridiculous because that's a huge part of our fiber in our lives, which determines our mental health and our well-being. There's no other way. Now, the majority of the book, now that's an important segment of my book, section 4, and some introductory words, which goes into that. But the majority of the book is something that we often need up front, like for myself or other people I've met that have worked this book. They had some spiritual growth going on in their lives, or they were believers and stuff like that. But they got caught up in that windmill of pain, of negativity, and which can bury us. And I mean, we have to find a way to just crack open that negative shell, and just change the way we think, operate, and react to things to underreact to everything. It takes a process to do it right. If you suffer a struggle, or if you're average emotionally, the book is for those people too, so they can pick and choose those steps along the way in order to optimize their lives. So we can optimize our lives no matter how bad we felt before, or whatever. It's amazing how strong we can get, but again, we have limitations. How strong we get as human beings. That's why we need our faith and our foundation to help us to solidify that positivity. But the process is based on repetitive training. Repetitive training to form good habits in our thoughts and to unwind the bad habits that we developed in our thoughts over time that buries us. Okay, so remember this. Of course, I think, well, I hope you all know that every negative thought we have impacts our brain and body chemistry in a bad way, causes our bad feelings, causes our bad emotions, and causes our issues 100%. Now, if we know how to change it up to positivity, then we normalize everything without the meds. That's how the process works. And of course, repetitive training is important for our spiritual growth to begin with, right? Or whenever we bring that into our lives. The sooner the better, by the way, on that. So when you take that positivity stuff on top of our strong foundation, you've got everything. I mean everything. Physically, of course, that helps too. But ironically, when we were young, what we do first when we start feeling pains up here, and we start working out really hard, it feels good. But serotonin levels we're increasing as we work out, and laughter does help that too, by the way. Uh, and eating well and stuff like that. But that's just a small chunk of what it takes, maybe 10% of the game. The mental emotional stuff in this book, that full instruction set and details, 40%, and our faith, our connection with God, at least 50% of the game in our lives. So that's everything in a nutshell. Okay, and nothing makes more sense than this in mental health. I promise you. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to say adios, amigos, goodbye, and God bless. If I can turn this off. 1 second. Bye.